Hello everyone, welcome to the Currency of Democracy. This is a libertarian opinion show of how the government is growing, the dollar is losing value, and you should be fed up. I'm your host Josh Davis, and first thing I'd like to bring up today is the Senate races. There's, the 2010 elections coming up pretty soon, and well, it should be in November, so yeah, it's pretty soon. And in Massachusetts, there's one libertarian candidate. He doesn't label himself, but he's basically a libertarian, and his name is Joe Kennedy. He may carry the Kennedy name, but his name is Joe Kennedy, and he's not affiliated with, he's not part of the Kennedy family, as it were. But he has a lot of libertarian values. Government shouldn't be growing, trying to bring back all the troops from Afghanistan and such, and so I highly support him. If you're interested in voting in the Senate races, please look up the independent candidates, and especially Joe Kennedy. The problem with the independents in, whatever race, is that there are never primaries for the independents. There are primaries for the Democrats and the Republicans, but I believe by law there aren't any primaries for independents. So this is where the problem is with voting for independents, is you don't really know them as well as Republicans and Democrats. But that's why you should do your own research, and I would vote for Joe Kennedy myself. If my voice really means anything, I'd endorse him, but I don't have money, and I, don't have a big voice. So, but whatever. You please, do research on the potential senators and make an informed choice. Speaking of Senate races, Chris Dodd just dropped out of the Senate run in Connecticut, and that was just today, and so that's pretty cool, because it opens the wings for Peter Schiff, and Peter Schiff is running as a Republican, yet he has libertarian values. And if you're at all interested in, well, we have a call already. All right, so, no, that's not for us, I don't think. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, Peter Schiff. He's running as a Republican. He's running against at least 2 other Republicans in Connecticut, so we have no bearing here in Massachusetts, yet I highly suggest that you check that out, and I think it's really interesting. Actually, I've already donated a little bit to his run, but Chris Dodd was a Democrat. He was in the Senate for 30 years, I believe. I think he went for 5 terms. So that would be, well, a term for a senator is 6 years, so 6 by 5 is 30. That's a long time. Wow, that's all I've got to say. That's just, well, I mean, if Connecticut respects him that much, that must be a good thing. So, but I don't agree with any of his stances, I suppose. So, but that's the Senate. Those are the Senate races going on in Connecticut and Massachusetts. So, in the states, I want to jump topics already. That was a quick runoff of the Senate races, but I don't know if you know the history of state nullification, but that has gone on ever since our country was founded. States have the ability to nullify any federal law that is not in their power. I've gone over the fact that Congress has a limited amount of powers in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8. But if the federal government goes over those boundaries, then states have the, I would say, the not just a right, but the duty to nullify that law by passing a law that contradicts that law that the United States passed. I mean, I guess they don't have a duty to if they agree with it, yet they have, I guess I shouldn't be saying duty then. It's more like they have the ability to nullify that law, to pass a law that contradicts the federal law in order to protect the citizen from overbearing, federal government. So, for example, the state of New Hampshire, wait, I wrote it down. New Hampshire, Virginia, and Montana, at least, have are passing laws that would nullify the federal gun laws. It's basically to it's protecting Amendment 2, I believe, the gun, the rights of people to keep and bear arms, and because there have been gun confiscations and other such things, it's basically like Montana. Like if a person were to buy a gun in Montana and keep it in Montana, then the federal government has no jurisdiction on that because it's Montana. It's their own state. It is a sovereign state. So they should be able to make up laws as they see fit for their people. Tom Woods, author of this book here, Meltdown. Meltdown. Tom Woods came up with this arguments that healthcare is out of the federal government jurisdiction as well because it's not specified in Article 1, Section 8. The proponents of this bill, the healthcare bills, would say that the federal government has jurisdiction on it because it's the Commerce Clause. They have the ability to regulate commerce within the states, but that's not exactly completely right. It's more like interstate commerce. They have the ability to make regular commerce between states. It's not to regulate. Regulate has been construed, and I don't even know if I have that as a definition. Do I, Sarah? Regulate? Do I have that as a slide toward the end? Try that. Check it out. I might have deleted it. I'm not sure. But basically, there's regulation is more like to keep regular, to make sure that there is commerce between Massachusetts and New Jersey, that kind of thing.